Hey everybody, on this week's Blast Newscast Weekend Edition, a look at a little something known as the art of question asking. A look at some traditions people do during Halloween. And finally, we go live to Hoosierland Roller Week in Frankfurt as J.R. Clifton sits down with Team Blast student Emma Boggs on what her experience of doing roller derby is like. Those stories can be seen on this week's Blast Newscast Weekend Edition for October 27th, 2013.
Have a blast in God's place. Let's have a blast.
And now, coming to you live from Team Blast Ministries right here in good old Sharpsville, Indiana. This is the Blast Newscast Weekend Edition with Trenton Byers.
Thanks, Chris Henry. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Blast Newscast Weekend Edition. I'm Trenton Byers. How do most people find information these days? Some people look at the internet, or some people look to go old school and look through an encyclopedia. Churchgoers love to look through the Bible, while others just, ask questions. Asking questions might be buggy sometimes. I know, but asking questions is the only way to find out the answer to various questions. We are going to take a look now at a little something on asking some questions. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to let us know. Here with our report, The Art of Question Asking, is our Blast Newscast reporter, Amber Braun.
Thanks, Trent. Have any of you been asked these questions before? Hey, how's it going? How are you doing? What's going on, man? It's been tried and true. Superficial questions get superficial answers. Jesus has got into people's heads and under their skin with the 73 questions he asked in the Gospel of Matthew alone. Who do people say the Son of Man is? But what about you? Who do you say I am? You have little faith. Why do you doubt? And so on. If Jesus knew the answer to his questions, yet asked anyway, do we have good reasons to avoid question asking when we don't know the answers? People ask questions to other people for various reasons. I care and want to hear the answer. Often one needs to hear one's own answer. Questions buy a little time to think things in a serious conversation. Listening to the answer earns me the right to speak into the other person's life, and for the life of me. I can't think of anything to say. Anyone can ask a generic how you doing, but no matter how sincere you may be, questions like that are pretty much hit and miss. It's not about being simpatico. It's about being real and by your gutsy questions. You might say to the other person, it's safe for you to be real with me. For the Blast Newscast, I'm Amber Braun.
Thanks, Amber, for the report. But before we move on to our next story, let me recommend a TV series. This TV series for the teens out there watching was made way before your time. But there was a TV series known as The Courtship of Eddie's Father. They used to have at the beginning and at the end of every episode a little something known as Peanuts, where the son will ask the father some questions about, life. For example, in one episode, the son asks, why do we have rules? So people can have peace and harmony. True, our second story this week is about Halloween. Halloween is 4 days away. Time seems to be going fast, doesn't it? Don't you think? I do. Here with a little something on Halloween is our Blast Newscast reporter, Brian Bookout.
Thanks, Trenton. Who's all ready for Halloween? Halloween is that very special time of year every year when everybody has a fun time. There are many different traditions that people like to do during Halloween. One thing people like to do is making jack-o'-lanterns. The fun part is trying to get the pumpkin seeds inside of the pumpkin cleaned up. Then, of course, you get to cut out the eyes, nose, and mouth in the jack-o'-lantern. Set a candle in there, and you got yourself a jack-o'-lantern. Of course, another tradition that most kids like to do during Halloween is trick-or-treating. Getting dressed up in funny and scary Halloween costumes, knocking on people's doors and saying trick-or-treat at everyone you meet. Then you end up leaving with a big loot of candy. With Halloween a couple days away, we hope you have a safe and fun time this Halloween season. And please, when trick-or-treating, don't forget to stop by Team Blast and get yourself some candy and hot chocolate. You will absolutely love it. For the Blast Newscast, I'm Brian Bookout, and I love candy! Oh!
The Blast Newscast now has its own official website. It's at www.blastnewscast.weebly.com. Here you'll find current episodes of both the weekday and weekend editions of the Blast Newscast. You'll be able to catch up with past episodes of the newscast, get to know the people who make the newscast possible, and even drop us a line with your questions, comments, suggestions, or ideas. Like I said, it's all here at www.blastnewscast.weebly.com. That's www.blastnewscast.weebly.com. We'll see you there.
It's time for this week's Blast Newscast trivia question. The gift of the Holy Spirit that was given in Acts chapter 2 was spoken by which prophet of the Old Testament? Joel, Daniel, Habakkuk, or Malachi? We'll have the answer for you later in the newscast.
Now it's time for this week's one-on-one interview segment. On Tuesday, the Team Blast kids went to Hoosierland Roller Rink in Frankfurt. While we were there, J.R. Clifton sat down with one of our Team Blast students here on her experience on the rink. This person you are about to meet is never shy of the rink. She is an excellent roller skater and has even participated in roller derby competitions. We're going to go live over to Hoosierland Roller Rink in Frankfurt with J.R. Clifton as he sits down with one of our Team Blast students, Emma Boggs.
Thanks, Trenton. It's time for this week's one-on-one interview segment, live from Hoosierland Roller Rink in Frankfurt. We have somebody here who is a talented roller skater and has participated in many roller derby competitions. Our special guest this week is Team Blast student Emma Boggs. Hey Emma, welcome to the Blast Newscast, weekend edition. How'd you get started in doing roller derby?
Well, basically my family found out that there was an adult league in Indianapolis, and then we found out there was a junior league, and I thought it sounded like fun, and my parents let me join.
What do you like best about doing roller derby?
I think I like being able to meet new people and have fun playing them.
Now, is roller derby a fun sport?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to play, yeah.
And finally, what would you tell a beginner who is learning how to do roller derby?
Basically, you have to put a lot of work into it, but you can't give up, or else you're not going to get anywhere with it.
This week. If you have a one-on-one interview idea, message Jacob Pyle on Facebook or leave us a note on the Blast Newscast website at www.blastnewscast.weebly.com. Emma Boggs, thank you for joining us for this week. For the Blast Newscast, I am J.R. Clifton.
Looking for something to do on a Tuesday afternoon? Come up and join us for Team Blast. Our address is 210 South Main Street, Sharpsville, Indiana, 46068. Anyone 6th grade or older is welcome. We're open after school on Tuesdays until 9, with services from 6:30 to 8:30. Come join us, won't you?
It's time for this week's Blast Newscast Trivia question. If you can recall, earlier in the newscast, we asked you this question. The gift of the Holy Spirit that was given in Acts chapter 2 was spoken by which prophet of the Old Testament? Joel, Daniel, Habakkuk, or Malachi? The answer is Joel.
That's the Blast Newscast Weekend Edition for this week. Thank you for joining us. Rachel Keller and Jacob Pyle will be with you Tuesday for the Blast Newscast. Watch for it Tuesday on the Blast Newscast website or on our Blast Newscast website Facebook page. Our Facebook page. I'm Trenton Byers, and we'll see you next weekend, because if it's the weekend, it's the Blast Newscast. Goodbye, everybody.
Let's have a blast!
This is Chris Henry speaking for the Blast Newscast Weekend Edition. This program